Hey guys, Adam South and Dog Training. Uh, just finished up with a client. Really easy job. The dog was slightly reactive. Okay, and all we had to do to help this dog, this reactive towards other dogs, all we had to do to help this dog was implement a very small amount of punishment. Okay, and change the lead. Yeah. Now, I'm going to do a video in a little while talking about punishment so you can understand what it is. But again, just quickly, punishment has this negative connotation to it these days where you think if you use the term punishment or you're going to punish your dog, you must be doing something painful or physically abusive, and it can be further from the truth. But that will be for a video later on. But we want to talk about the simple change of tool to help the dog. And this video is going to focus on, is the tool that you're using for your dog actually making the reactivity worse? Okay, so we touched upon this with the harness, how the harness can make a dog physically more reactive. But it's the same for a normal collar. So originally this client had a harness on her dog and the dog was reacting towards other dogs. She switched it over because she found that the harness wasn't giving her the control she was looking for. So she put the dog on a normal collar. But the problem with a normal collar, okay, is it can still cause the same issue with a dog. Yeah, it can still lead to reactivity. Yeah, so normal collars and harnesses, they don't apply any pressure whatsoever to a dog. Yeah, so what they actually do if you've got a reactive dog is they agitate. Yeah, so if you look at German Shepherds, for instance, being used by the police, and this is an example I use often to actually get through to people. So if you look at police, for example, say you've got a suspect hiding out in a building, hiding out in a bush, and it's dark. The police have arrived on scene, they've got the dog out. When you actually see that dog, often it's rearing to go. It's either up on its back legs, it's rearing to go, and the policeman's pulling it back. It's often followed by, if you don't come out, we're going to let the dog go. Now, the reason they're pulling the dog back is because it's on some sort of harness or it's on some sort of agitation collar, a collar with a handle on it. Yeah, and it's not applying any pressure to the dog, so they're pulling it, and the dog's rearing to go. And then if the suspect doesn't come out, they let go, and the dog goes in flying. Yeah. When they're teaching dogs to bite, okay, doing bite work, you've got a decoy. Now, a decoy is basically the victim that has to put on the bite suit and play the role of the person that's going to get bit by the dog. Yeah. So when they're training a German Shepherd in bite work, when it's actually got hold of the decoy by its arm or leg or whatever, often the handler, yeah, is then grabbing it by a collar with a handle on it, or a normal collar, or a harness, and they're trying to pull the dog off. And what this is doing is called agitation. They're agitating the dog. Okay, to bite harder, to go stronger, to go hot. Yeah, so it's the same when we walk our dogs. Yeah, so if we got our dogs on a normal collar, if we got our dogs on a harness, yeah, because they don't apply any pressure. If the dog kicks off, all you're doing is pulling the dog back. Yeah, the pulling the dog back actually creates more frustration and leads the dog to actually react a hell of a lot more. Yeah, so you don't, if you've got a reactive dog, you don't want to be walking them really on a normal collar or a harness. Yeah, you need some sort of device that is going to apply a little bit of pressure. Yeah, so the most common lead we use is a simple slip lead. Yeah, so a slip lead will apply pressure evenly all the way around, and as soon as the dog stops, it turns off the pressure. So what that does is, as the dog sees the dog and you can start to apply pressure. Yeah, a little bit of positive punishment, applying a little bit of pressure to decrease the likelihood of the dog reacting. Yeah, gentle pressure, not choking the dog. If the dog's gasping for air, if you're swinging a dog around, if you're yanking on the lead as hard as you can, that's not how you should be using that tool. Yeah, a little bit of pressure, which then changes the dog's mindset. Yeah, so if you've got a reactive dog, guys, ask yourself, is the tool that you're using causing more reactivity? Yeah, pressure. Look, Daisy likes to appear in a video all the time. It's like she knows when I'm doing a video. She just comes in and says hello. Yeah, so what do you want? Yeah, so enough. So use the tool that's going to actually help you, and the tools that are most beneficial are those that apply pressure and release. Yeah, so something that's going to apply gentle pressure evenly, and then as soon as the dog stops doing something, the pressure turns off. Yeah, using normal collars, yeah, using harnesses, they're going to agitate the dog a lot more. Of course, there's a lot more to go into it. Yeah, this isn't what this video is about. A lot of reactivity is down to the way the handler projects themselves, how they conduct themselves, and how they hold themselves, both physically and mentally. Yeah, and it's about your timing and communication, yeah, to help the dog. But often the tools we are using can be a major trigger in making the reactivity worse. Yeah, so this dog today, all we used was a slip lead. Yeah, and just simply switching the dog from a normal collar to a slip lead, the dog's tail went from being very low because the dog was nervous to actually coming up to a more relaxed position. The ears went from being alert all over the place to going floppy, being nice and relaxed. Yeah, and that was just changing the lead, because the gentle pressure is communication, and as soon as that dog had that constant communication going on from the handler, it instantly made the dog relax. Yeah, so just be aware of that, guys. If you've got a reactive dog, often using a harness or a flat buckle collar will actually make situations worse. They're also not as safe as people think. The amount of dogs I've seen slip out of collars and slip out of harnesses. So if you're using one for safety, be aware that dogs time and time again have got out of these devices, okay? So yeah, if you've got a dog that's got reactivity problems, guys, contact a trainer ASAP, one that understands operant conditioning, yeah, and get help. Yeah, the quicker you nip it in the bud, the quicker it will become. But yeah, that's it today, guys. Have fun.